Well, good morning and welcome to Unity of Columbia. I'm Reverend Ann Hickey, the Senior Minister, and if you live in Columbia, you will know that today we are snowed in. So I'm streaming from my home office today. Unity is a pan-denominational movement, and that means that we honor all paths to God, especially the one that you're on. So please know that you're most welcome here today. And I know that you're not just here to watch a church service, that you're here for a much higher and greater purpose. In fact, you're here for a holy purpose. So I'll ask you to declare with me today, after I say this, I am here for a holy purpose. Let's say that together. I am here for a holy purpose. So our reading today is related to our topic, and it's from an anonymous author. And the reading says, "In the purity of the white stone, I see a blank canvas, a promise of new beginnings. With intention and faith, I inscribe my name, knowing it carries the essence of who I am and all I aspire to become." Well, there are a few short announcements today which I'll share with you. Next Saturday, the women's ministry is having a breakfast starting at 9 a.m. in the Friendship Hall, and the men's ministry is doing the same the following week, which is January the 18th. I would encourage you to go to those. It's a great place to get to know people, especially if you're a little newer at the church. There are 2 outreach programs. We're collecting student hygiene supplies for Oakland Middle School. And that's things like soap and deodorant and shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrushes. They can all be collected and left in the foyer. Although you're not there today, anytime during the week is fine too. And we're also collecting old large towels for the Central Missouri Humane Society. We have Unity classes coming up, Metaphysics with the Minister, which is a 7-week series, beginning on January the 21st. There are Tuesday evening classes and Wednesday classes during the day, so you can choose which you want to come to. They're all given on a love offering basis, and you can sign up in the foyer now. And I would encourage you to do that soon, especially if you're wanting us to get a book for you. We have a quarterly meeting coming up in 2 weeks, so that will be held on Sunday, January the 19th. Well, as we look at our daily word today, the word is strength. God's strength is my strength. Let's say that affirmation together. God's strength is my strength. If I identify solely with my human nature, I may feel daunted by my cares and duties and by the state of the world itself. When I feel small or ill-equipped to face troubling situations or uncertain circumstances, I remind myself I am never without the power of divine strength within me. The awesome strength of God is inexhaustible and without limitation. Anything I may be called to face is no match for divine strength. As I grow in spiritual understanding, I realize I need not pray for God's help. Instead, I claim the strength of God as an aspect of my divine identity. I affirm divine strength is mine. I am strong in spirit. And as these words grow in my consciousness, I feel better able to keep life's struggles in perspective and remember I am strong in God. And today's quote comes from Habakkuk 3, "God the Lord is my strength." And our affirmation once again is, God's strength is my strength. Let's affirm that together. God's strength is my strength. And so let's settle into a quiet time together, and I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze as we go within. Infinite presence, source of all life, we attune ourselves to your boundless energy today. May all that we think, say, and do flow effortlessly from our deep connection to universal power, the power that sustains and uplifts us. We release any burdens. We allow any anxiety we feel to dissolve in this moment. And as we settle into the stillness, we open ourselves fully to the infinite flow of love and freedom that moves through all things. It's with gratitude that we trust that the unfolding of life's perfect pattern is happening within us now. May we be awakened by new inspiration. May our path be illuminated. We lift our awareness to embrace renewal, clarity, and deeper understanding. And today we remind ourselves of friends and family and others in need of our love and support. And we bring them into this circle of prayer. We give thanks for the life, the love, and abundance that are present in every moment. And we affirm, I am complete. And so it is. And so I'm going to introduce Carol Schultz, our licensed Unity teacher. And it is a tradition at Unity of Columbia that we hold the White Stone ceremony at this time each year. And Carol leads that ceremony for us. I know that some people were very disappointed that it may not happen because we're snowed in, but Carol and I managed to get together a few days ago and recorded her message so that we could bring it for you today. So it is happening today, and here it is, her message, all about the white stone and why we practice that and how to do it. And I invite you to sit back and relax.
Well, good morning, everyone. What a wonderful spiritual journey we've been on through this Advent season. Well, you may remember at the end of November, Reverend Ann gave us all a homework assignment. Do you remember it? It kind of reminds me of our former minister, Laurie Boyd, who ended every talk with, and your homework is, well, we have a new homework assignment this time. Reverend Ann asked us to reflect on the things that you really loved over the past year and the things that were not so great. Then she asked us to sit and contemplate how that year ahead, 2025, was going to change, how we could be different. And then we did the burning bowl ceremony of release that last Sunday to release any leftover baggage that was there from our contemplation. And then we think of what went well in 2024 and what we want to bring into 2025. And so this Sunday we'll set an intention for 2025 with our white stone ceremony. As Unity and New Thought students, we all know that we create our world through our thinking and our thoughts, and we can direct our energy toward affirming thoughts. Remember the affirmations about the power of life that Reverend Ann had us all speak a few Sundays ago? The power of life energizes me. The power of life vitalizes me. The power of life animates me. So rituals like our burning bowl and our white stone ceremony this morning will touch that part of our soul that remembers who we really are and makes it more integrated into what we really are and express in the world. These rituals, along with our daily practices of meditation and prayer, really cement those and settle them into the depths of our soul. And we know that we can direct the power and energy in our life. So I ask you, what do you want to direct your life force and spiritual energy toward in 2025? We've come to the solstice, to the time of upswing of light, that light increasing on earth in our hemisphere. And as this new year begins, I really want to be aware of what is being born into the world through my words and my actions, and how I would like to shift that to be more consistent with what I intend to radiate out into the world. I love the words of Mahatma Gandhi when he was asked for a message to the world, and he said, "My life is my message." And that's what we all strive for, I think, to have our life be our message to the world. And I heard once that the Dalai Lama said, "My religion is kindness." So I ask myself, and I ask you to ask yourself, do I live the message I want to send to the world? If our life doesn't always reflect our highest spiritual consciousness, how do I want to grow and change so it really does consistently? Well, to begin this process, I can ask myself some pertinent questions. If someone is watching me, what do they really see? Is my outer presence reflecting what is truly inside of me? As we know, if these two things are not consistent, our inner emotions are being heard whether we like it or not. Our body language, our tone of voice, our attentiveness, our presence with the other person can really be picked up by others whether we like it or not. People are more and more sensitive to how we're able to read non-verbal messages. Right now, one of the big tasks for us Americans, I do believe, is to learn to relate with one another despite some hugely varied ideas of what is right and correct. Can we really learn to love unconditionally and practice non-resistance in this time in 2025? I remember listening to a meditation by the author Patricia Sun, and she said, "You may as well live as though everyone can read your mind." I thought, wow, that's really something, isn't it? How can I put that into practice? Well, the truth is we're really always observing our own life, and so we have that own inner spirit that's observing us and saying, well, you did that so well and you're growing. You didn't react so much at that time. You're really moving up in your spiritual development. And so we can use spiritual principles to check our outer actions to see if they're consistent with our spiritual intentions. Well, for example, I'm still catching myself in a lack and limitation mentality from my childhood. I grew up in a household with 5 children with pretty limited resources, and that meant that we had to be very vigilant to make sure we got our share of everything that was there. And being the middle child, of course, not the oldest assertive one, or the beloved brother, just younger than me, the only boy in the family, or the youngest baby, I really had to be super vigilant to make sure I got my share. I still find myself mentally judging someone who's taking more than their share or doing something that I consider not fair in my mind. Well, when I catch myself doing this, I can choose to affirm abundance and plenty for all. Or if it's a situation that can be addressed, I can say, well, just a minute, let's make sure that everyone can have enough, or we'll have enough to go around. I can ask people to pause for a moment and see what needs to be in the distribution so that we can divide it up evenly. But I don't have to hold on to that resentment and anger at people getting my share, or me feeling bad about myself or sad about pity for myself for not getting my share. And it really is, people are picking up on your inner emotions. And so that really motivates me to act more consistently with my authentic self. And so I take this time to explore how I want to move in alignment within and without. I feel certain that in this world today, what we really need is people being more truthful and authentic with each other so that we can have true relationships. With those resolutions, we all think about New Year's resolutions, and those resolutions can be useful, but sometimes it seems it's more like the outer appearance that we're thinking of rather than our inner spiritual growth. So I want you to think this year about those internal spiritual growth things that you can do to show up in the world as an authentic spiritual being. I'm always reminded of our mission statement here at Unity of Columbia, which I love. We inspire the awakening and practice of divine love in every heart. If we are affirming that we're inspiring the awakening and practice of divine love, we must know for ourselves that we already know and we're already awakened ourselves, and that we are living our lives so that we do inspire that in others. As Gandhi says, we live as though our life is the message. So you may ask, well, how do I really do this? Know that all the words you speak and the thoughts you share can have a huge impact on the people around you, and maybe even affect a person's well-being. Even small acts of kindness carry powerful effects. Your positive energy heals the world in so many different ways. So remember, you are the light of the world. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And as a collective unity community, we are the light of the world. We are the ones we've been waiting for. So for this white stone ceremony, I ask you to consider choosing a name that will represent the way you want to show up in 2025. Remember, we're human beings, not human doings. So contemplate what you want to be in 2025. Consider your intentions. Most of us would claim that we always have good intentions, but in a spiritual sense, it's possible to choose our intentions consciously, not merely assume that we intend goodwill, but as a means of expressing our divine essence. Well, as I looked for inspiration about how to be in the world, I found 50 random acts of kindness. You can look that up and find many creative and humorous and sometimes challenging ways to really make a difference in the world. So you could create an intention to be the one who always makes people feel good about themselves. And you could do that by regularly giving others your most generous, sincere smile. Or you could compliment a stranger. Tell them that they look great or that you like their earrings or whatever. And that makes a person feel good, like I really did something today. I've been the recipient of that kind of feedback this last month, and I thought, well, that's really nice of them to notice. And so I try to do the same. We could create an intention to always express gratitude. That is, by creating a collage of things that we love or quotes or people you love, like a gratitude journal. And one that really makes me think about my own actions was one that said, to always put your cell phone down when you're speaking directly to others. So we could create an intention to always be present and fully attending to the person that we're speaking to. And we know that as we respond with love, love will return to us multiplied abundantly. So Reverend Ann's talk on October 13 was entitled, Will the Real You Stand Up? She reminded us of our sacredness and importance of the words, I am. Anytime we attach our I am to a positive, we increase our spiritual worth and add to our spiritual bank, so-called our spiritual tools. If we attach our I am to a negative, we're depleting our spiritual energy. So your new name could be a simple I am statement, some quality you want to embody. I am divine love, I am courage, I am kindness. And so we're going to now begin the white stone ceremony. And you at home, if you haven't picked up a white stone for yourself, I encourage you to get a piece of white paper and a pen. And then as we go through this process, write your own new name on this paper or stone. So the white stone ceremony is a spiritual practice of intentional self-transformation. The ceremony is based on a passage in the book of Revelation in the Christian Testament. Quoting that passage, let anyone who has an ear listen. To everyone who conquers, I will give some of the hidden manna, and I will give a white stone, and on that white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it. That's from Revelation 2:17 in the Christian scriptures. And from history, we know that the white stone was an ancient practice. In ancient times, when someone was in prison or an indentured slave and then was lawfully released, the person was given a white stone. The stone was a token of, or proof that the person had been legally freed, had not just run away. In the spiritual practice of the white stone ceremony, we each receive a white stone to remind us that we too have been freed from false limitations, old beliefs, and error thinking. And in many ancient cultures, Hebrews, Native Americans, other indigenous cultures, a name is a very sacred thing. Every name in the Bible actually describes a quality that was in the person who carried that name. You didn't choose a name for your child just because you liked the name. You chose it for whatever essence you saw or wanted to have that child express. In those cultures, when a particularly important transformation happened in a person's life, it was traditional to take on a new name. And many in this congregation have taken on new names as they've gone through their spiritual journey. John wrote in the book of Revelation that the white stone carries a new name. It's something between you and your inner spirit, and it comes to be lived out, to be expressed and embodied by you. It's what God or spirit or your inner source is calling you to be or do. It's a whisper from your soul telling you that you are so much more than you ever have let out into expression. And so the white stone ceremony is a meditation practice in which we open our mind and heart to the voice of spirit within us. We look past any apparent limitations in our human experience, and we ask God within to reveal to us a new name, a word that represents a quality or experience we are being called to express more fully. And then we receive that name. When we receive it, we write it on the white stone to carry with us. So as we begin our meditation time, I invite you to trust in this now moment. As Spirit gives you an insight into your divine purpose, an insight into your birthright of prosperity, abundance, and right thinking. It may be a word or a quality calling on you to take a new depth of expression. If you're not receiving a clear message right at this moment, just relax. It'll come to you later today or later in the week during your times of meditation. It may even come in a dream. So from that secret place of the Most High, I invite you to allow yourself to hear the new name that God has for you. And as that name becomes clear, write it on the stone, and then close your eyes again and return your attention to the presence within and continue meditating. In this moment, allow yourself to simply open to Spirit and say, God in me reveals my true essence. God in me reveals my next steps. God as me lives a prosperous, abundant, joyous life. And so we spend a few moments in meditative silence as you receive your new name. As we come back from our meditative state, take a deep breath and integrate this new name into your consciousness. This is your sign of a clean slate. Whatever has gone on in the past, let it go. This is a sign of your ability in this moment to live a new beginning. This is a moment in which you know you are free, free from all that has bound you. Allow yourself to ask for a deeper understanding of this name in your subsequent meditations, to ask if there is a step you're being asked to take. And now a thankfulness flows over us as we come back to this present moment. Along with our new name comes the power and guidance to achieve all that we are called to be. This is our new name. We see it. We decree it. I invite you to carry this white stone as a reminder of that promise. So today I join you in celebrating this deep inner work that we've accomplished. It's like some of the animals, like a bear going into hibernation. During this quiet, slower time of the year, we take on the rhythm of the season. Birthing these new ideas takes labor and then rest. And in order for expansion to happen in a good way, we must take these times of rest and reflection. May each of us find our highest ways to show up for this time of light expanding on earth. It requires rest between the expressions. It requires truth and authenticity. Your life and how you express your new name will most certainly inspire the awakening and practice of divine love in your heart and in every heart. Go in peace.
Well, thank you to Seta for her beautiful playing today. And a special thank you to Carol, who presented our White Stone ceremony and her great talk today as well. Well, we now have an opportunity to participate in the law of circulation. So I ask you to get your love offering either in your hand, you can hold it in your hand, or you can hold it in your heart, however you give. I know many of you give electronically. And we're going to say the following words. So you can say after me, divine love, one with me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I'm joy-filled and grateful. And there are many ways that you can give to Unity of Columbia. And if you enjoy watching our Sunday services, you can make an offering, which will help us to continue bringing them to you each week. I would like to give a special shout out to everyone who gave a holiday gift this month. We are now going to be starting the year on a very positive note, so thank you once again. So I want to thank our Sunday team who really came together and put our online service together today. And you know the saying, it takes a village to bring up a child. Well, it takes a team to bring the Sunday message to you. So here's a photo of them. We know and love them. And second photo here where they're really being themselves. So thank you to the team, and thank you for being with us today. Please join us next week in person, and you can pick up a white stone if you want one, and join us next week. I'm wishing you to be healthy, happy, and abundant during the week, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.